News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moskow.
Karen, trading begins this morning with stocks at or near record highs, and chip companies are the ones doing some of the heavy lifting. Let's get more this morning from Bloomberg's John Tucker. John, good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. Yeah, the Dow finished at a record. The S&P 500 drove to within a few points of its record close. Two of the strongest forces pushing the S&P 500 upward were NVIDIA, up 2.4%. Broadcom surged 3.3%. Those are the beneficiaries of all that CapEx spending. But always lingering in the background, you have worries about whether all the huge spending on AI is going to produce enough profit to make the investments worth it. Andrew Slimmon at Morgan Stanley marvels at how investors seem to climb a wall of worry.
I think the biggest risk is we go into a kind of a real blow-off stage, and every time I start to worry about it, the market self-corrects. So I think that's a healthy thing, and that's why I don't think we're end of cycle.
One interesting feature of this market is the surge in memory chip prices. It's driven a vast divide between winners and losers. You have companies from Nintendo to big PC brands and even Apple suppliers seeing shares slump on profitability concerns. But the memory producers, they're soaring to unprecedented heights. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, John, thank you. Meanwhile, Alphabet is selling sterling and Swiss franc denominated bonds for the first time, including an ultra-rare issue of a 100-year note following a $20 billion deal in the U.S. Bloomberg Tech co-anchor Caroline Hyde reports it's just the latest salvo in the AI spending spree.
You've just got hot on the heels of Oracle having sold $25 billion of debt at the beginning of last week. They got $129 billion of demand, a record set. You might be bracing for $400 billion of investment-grade debt coming to finance AI.
And Bloomberg Tech co-host Caroline Hyde. Yesterday, Alphabet raised $20 billion in a 7-part dollar debt sale, exceeding earlier expectations for a $15 billion deal. The offering attracted more than $100 billion of orders at its peak, among the strongest ever for a corporate bond offering.
Turning to the economy now, Karen, President Trump says his pick to lead the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh, could get the U.S. economy to grow at a rate of 15%. The president spoke to Fox Business.
If our new head of the Fed, who I think is going to be great, and he's a really high-quality person, but if he does the job that he's capable, we can grow at 15%. I think more than that.
President Trump says Kevin Warsh was his runner-up in his last search for a Fed chair. He says it was a big mistake to pick Jerome Powell.
Nathan, the Justice Department is facing new pressure to release more information about its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. The lawmakers who sponsored the bill to compel the agency to unseal its documents were able to review the unredacted files. Republican Thomas Massey says what he saw could lead to more criminal prosecutions.
The user interface is a little clunky at first, but what I saw that bothered me were the names of at least 6 men that have been redacted that are likely incriminated by their inclusion in these files.
Republican Thomas Massey was joined by Democrat Ro Khanna. He described those 6 men as, quote, very powerful people who raped these underage girls. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, Jeffrey Epstein's convicted former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, appeared for a video deposition before the House Oversight Committee, but it didn't last long.
At any point during your personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, were you aware that Mr. Epstein was sexually abusing minors and adult women?
I would like to answer your question, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer this question and any related questions.
Ghislaine Maxwell repeatedly invoked the Fifth Amendment during the 5-minute hearing. It led the oversight panel's top Democrat, Robert Garcia, to ask, who is she protecting?
We turn now to Arizona, Karen, where the investigation into the disappearance of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, is now into a second week. Authorities are investigating the apparent kidnapping with a ransom deadline set by her purported abductors, who sent ransom notes demanding money for her return. Savannah Guthrie released a video saying her family is at an hour of desperation.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help.
Investigators believe Nancy Guthrie was taken against her will from her home. There is growing concern about her health due to her need for daily medication and pre-existing medical conditions.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moskow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.